Are you an E5 sailor here in Lemoore that is stationed at NAS Lemoore, earning $2,000 a month in BAH and paying rent for that same amount? What if I told you that same money can buy you a house here in Lemoore, in Hanford, in Visalia, or even Fresno? Did you know that? Hi, my name is Paul. I'm a licensed real estate agent in the state of California. I'm based in the Central Valley region. I am currently in the United States Navy. I'm a reservist. I was active duty for a while, and I'm currently an E5. And that's why I'm making this video for my fellow E5s that are out there, in any of the other branches, but especially in the Navy, and those who are based here or stationed here at NAS Lemoore. I created this video because I've had conversations with fellow members, and I just thought it was surprising that some service members do not know that they could buy a house with their BH, or some had an idea that they could, but were afraid because they weren't sure how to go about it. So I decided to do this video. It's a breakdown video on what your E5 salary can buy you here in Lemoore. So first of all, I'm going to break down the income of an E5, and then afterwards we will look at what kind of houses are here and how much they cost, and then I will do some examples for you and then see where your situation is compared to these examples, and then we'll go from there. Now, if you are an E5 in the Navy, you are already familiar with what I'm going to be talking about, which is how much does an E5 in the Navy make? We are all paid by the formerly Department of Defense, now Department of War. E5s in the Navy make the same amount as E5s in the Army, in the Marines, and the other branches. The slight difference, the base pay is the same, but the extras that we get, the bonuses, might be different. And even in the Navy, your bonuses, which is BAS and BAH, it varies if you're single, if you have dependents, and some other factors which I don't need to go to because they're not necessary for this video. But for the context of this video, I'm going to first talk about how much an E5 makes, how much you as an E5 makes on average. That would help frame things up for us to determine what you can afford, if you can afford. And I can use the opportunity to show you that you can afford to buy a house here in Lemoore, Hanford, Visalia, this area, Fresno, right? So let's jump into it. How much does an E5 make? So I'm going to go through my notes here because, of course, I want to make sure that these things are official. Your base pay is at 2025 for an E5 with over 2 years but less than 3 years of service. It's about $3,466.50. Let's call that $3,400, but 3466.50 per month. Your BAS, which I used to think was basic allowance for sustenance, but I think it's called subsistence BAS, is about $465.05 a month. Do the math, follow me. And then your BAH is $2,085 if you have dependents. It's slightly lower if you're single without dependents, right? But we're going to do the math with those the dependent figures. You put all that together, that's approximately $6,000 a month, but I think it's exactly $6,017.27. But let's say it's $6,000. So as an E5 with more than 2 years but less than 3 years in the service here in Lemoore, if you're stationed at NAS Lemoore, then you make $6,000 a month average. Could be slightly less, could be more, but the average $6,000. Good. So now we have a framework to work with, right? Cool. I mean, there are other considerations, there are other things to bear in mind with this income. That there's special pay, some other benefits that come in, flight day pay, and so on and so forth. But like I said, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave all that alone, and the average, you make that amount. So it could be slightly less, but it could be considerably more. Now, here's the problem I want to tackle. It's what I call the BAH problem. You earn BAH of approximately $2,000, right? Like we just identified. But what I found is that my shipmates, my brothers and my sisters, they rent. There is nothing wrong with renting. Renting is fine. If that's the path you want to go down, of course, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. However, I'm making this video for those who have asked me the question and those who have considered, who have thought about wanting to buy, but one, do not know how to go about it, or two, aware that they could buy, but afraid to venture because I guess the math is not mathing, or they don't know how to go about the math. So, like I said, I realized that there was a challenge. My shipmates did not know what to do. They get their BH and they go ahead and rent a place, as they ideally should do, right? But you can still use that BH to also buy a house. The problem with renting, in my opinion, is that when you rent, you're paying off someone else's mortgage. You're investing into another person's life. that's what you want to do, again, that's okay. However, if you're looking at doing more of maximizing that which you're receiving, then this video is for you. Your BAH was designed to cover your housing costs, so why not just use it to pay your mortgage instead of paying someone else's mortgage? Think about it. Because if you're going to be here for 4 years, some people 3 years, some 5, and some people stay here for much longer. But hopefully when you buy a house, that house will appreciate in value, or otherwise known as equity, right? That equity is like free money when you think about it. Because if you're here for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 12 years, 2 or so or more contracts, within the period you're here, you're earning salaries. Your BAH is going towards paying off the mortgage on the house. But that house is also working for you, growing, building equity. And so you could decide to hold on to it, or you could also decide to sell the house and then take that equity. Or you could refinance and pull out that equity. We're talking about $20, $50, maybe even $100,000, $150,000 within the period that you're here, depending on how long or how short the period that you're here. Think about that. That's a lot of money. Why wouldn't you want to do that to yourself or for yourself? You're living here after 5 years and you decide to sell your house, and then you cash out $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, or let's say it's even $25,000. In addition to what the Navy gives to you, boom, boom, good business, you move on. Food for thought. So why should you do this? Well, it's because the VA has made this, the government has made this available to you in the form of a VA loan, a loan that is backed by the government for you to be able to buy a house if you choose to, when you want to. And I've said in previous videos, but I'm going to say it again because it is worth saying, all of the benefits of the VA loan that you enjoy, that civilian member does not enjoy, that you should be taking advantage of, because as far as I'm concerned, it's a gift. So, number 1, no down payment required. Number 2, no private mortgage insurance is required. Number 3, low interest rates than civilian loans. So, you know what? Look at my previous videos to get more details. Instead of getting rates as high as 6.5, 6.25, 6.3, or whatever the case is, you could be getting lower than 6%, 5%, 5.5, and so on and so forth. That's good. This benefit was built and designed for us. I've said it before, was built as a benefit for our service. Don't leave money on the table like someone used to tell me in the past. The VA loan makes it possible for you to buy without needing to have a big amount saved up. This is for you. So, the crux of the matter. Can you buy a house in Lemoore, in Hanford, in Visalia, in Fresno with your $6,000 salary as an E5? The answer is yes. And I did some breakdown here. I try to put it on the screen for you to see. Otherwise, I'm just going to read from my notes. It's rough, I know, but just take my word, write notes down if you will, and then feel free. Google this, go online and verify this information I'm sharing with you. But here are the notes that I have right now. So the current 30-year fixed rate VA purchase rate is approximately 5.75% today as at the time of this video. Now, because these interest rates have moved over time, it could be less, it could be more by the time you're watching this video. However, compared to the broader national average for other loan types, which right now is over 6%, 6.2 to about 6.6%, VA loans tend to be considerably lower. Therefore, using a 5.75% as the realistic rate for service members, the average home prices here in Lemoore is about $350,000. Right? Take that at 5.75% over 30 years. Navy Federal shows that you will get about $1,726 for a $300,000 loan. And then you could get, Rocket Mortgage says that at 6.125%, it lists at about $2,127,000 on a $350,000 loan. So if we take those two figures, for a house that costs $300,000 to a house that costs $350,000, the difference between that is about 17%. So for a $350,000 house, your average payment is about $2,150. It could be slightly more, but ideally, you're not going to pay more than $2,500, maybe $2,600. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just use my calculator here and do that real quick. $350,000, $350, 30-year term, 5.75% start date today, 1.1% taxes, boom, 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 boom. Pans out, calculate, and I get $2,613. Like I said, anywhere between $2,500 and $2,600. Your BAH is $2,000. Add that to your BAS together, and you'll be able to afford this. So again, your base pay, which is taxable, is $3,466. BAH and BAS added together is about $2,550. Combined is about $6,016. Call it $6,000. Your estimated mortgage from everything we just said previously is about $2,450 to $2,650. That's about 40% from your income that's allocated to your mortgage. To read verbatim from my notes, my fellow E5s, let me put this into real numbers for you. At today's rate, today's 30-year VA loan rate, which is about 5.75%. Again, it fluctuates. At the time you're watching this video, it could go up, it could go down. If you buy a $350,000 home with a VA loan at that rate, your principal and interest payment will be roughly $2,050 per month. When you add taxes and insurance, you're looking at about $2,500 to about $2,600 per month. Now, compare that to your monthly BAH of about $2,085. You're essentially paying your housing allowance into your mortgage. Now, with nearly $6,000 coming into your pocket each month, or your bank account each month, putting $2,500, $2,500 towards your home is totally within reach. And also a big win, you're building equity, not just paying rent and helping someone else build their own future. Buying will always beat renting, in my opinion. I see these arguments online all the time, or rather often. You can make a case for both of them. There's nothing wrong with renting, like I said previously. Now, in the short term, renting might be favorable. Also, depending on the market where you are, renting might be favorable. In the long term, however, buying is always your best option. So, in conclusion, with your E5 pay and VA loan benefits, you can buy a house in Lemoore, in Hanford, in Visalia, or Fresno if you want to go that far. So, this is my encouragement to you. Stop renting and buy. And if you want to buy, reach out to me. I can help you. Feel free to drop your comments, leave comments for me, questions that you might have regarding this subject. I'll do my best to answer them. But in the meantime, think about everything I just said. And if all of this resonates with you, reach out to me. Until then, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.